I've been bursting at the seams to talk to you all about this. When we were last together, you will remember here on POTUS, Joel D., the television anchor from Harrisburg, the CBS Harrisburg affiliate. Joel D. was a guest of mine, and we were talking about a barbershop interview or series of interviews that he conducted, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, central Pennsylvania, where he and a colleague were in the barbershop. The clientele were exclusively African-American men. The conversation was about Kamala Harris, and one of them volunteered that he questioned whether she was black. Maybe she more closely identifies as something other than black. This was unscripted. This was unprompted. And it sparked an interesting conversation. And we played the tape here on POTUS. Joel narrated exactly how it all transpired. Then we went to the telephone lines, and I was overwhelmed with telephone callers that day, self-identifying as African American, who said that those barbershop individuals who questioned the identity of Kamala Harris do not speak for the community. And some regarded them, I think this was like a whisper down the lane thing, where one caller said they are low information voters, and then others picked up on that and said, I agree with the guy who said that they are low information voters. Do you remember that? That's all by way of background. So now I go on CNN on Saturday, and I'm setting up a political conversation with Tara Setmayer. Thank you, Tara, not only for being my guest on CNN, but also for guest hosting for me here on POTUS, and my friend David Urban. I was looking forward to having both Tara and David to talk about the state of the election. And in my setup, and this, like, so much has happened since this, but you'll of course remember former President Trump going to the National Association of Black Journalists and raising the question of how the vice president identifies, not on a hot mic, like he chose to go there. On CNN, as I was dissecting, analyzing Trump's words, I said there are only two reasons that he would have brought that up voluntarily. Reason number one is because he wanted distraction. Because Harris has so been kicking his butt in the news cycle that he wanted to change the narrative, even if it were a negative story. And then I said the second explanation as to why Trump would bring up Harris's identity is because he's narrowcasting. Because there is a group within the African-American community who question her identity, although I think it's a relatively small group. And then I told the story on television of Joel D. and the barbershop, and we played some of the audio. So that was my last sort of broadcast before going away for a week of vacation. I had concluded my responsibilities on POTUS. I was now off of radio for a week. This was my final CNN program. So lo and behold, I guess it was Sunday morning. It was a Saturday CNN program. I think it was Sunday morning. TC might remember. I don't think it popped immediately. I think it was the following day when the Daily Mail now leads, and the Daily Mail has huge audience. And I click on the Daily Mail. No one has told me, Michael, there's a story about you. I'm just doing my normal read-in, even though I'm now theoretically on vacation. And the headline that I see on the Daily Mail in the lead position is white CNN host insults black men for views on Kamala. And I look at this and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm the white CNN guy that they're talking about. This is insanity. And I read it again. White CNN host insults black men for views on Kamala. I think, TC, I flipped it to you and I'm like,
yes,
you're never going to believe this.
Yeah, it was that. Like, I just looked back to double check. It was that Sunday morning around 8 a.m. And I got the rare.
I'm on my way to church.
I got the rare 8:21 phone call because remember I said to you, are you on your way to the airport? thinking you were going to be able to get south before Debbie took over your plans. And you said, no, I'm on my way to church. Like, listen to this. So I now have replayed everything in my mind. And that was exactly what happened. It was the 8 a.m. hour on Sunday morning.
Right. And so the headline.
And it was leading, Michael, it was leading the Daily Mail, like this huge banner across the top.
I know, but I looked at that headline like I would have hated me.
Oh, yeah.
For that headline.
Oh, yeah.
Like, white CNN host insults black men. What could be a more defamatory,
terrible,
disparaging, disgusting headline than that?
Right.
And then I'll tell you something else they did, and I don't have this one queued up for YouTube. I'll just describe it. I'm holding it in my hand. So then they flipped the version of the headline, and now the headline was CNN stars outburst.
Yes.
And of course, I'm only a star when they want to trash me. I mean, I'm now a CNN star. It's like they're seeking to elevate me to let people know who I am, who may never have heard of me before they tell you, oh, he's the white guy who insulted black men. What have I done?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, what have I done? The story accurately said that I played audio from a Harrisburg CBS affiliate, and we had this conversation. And, you know, like the story was accurate, but the headline was atrocious. And then finally, and Aleko, you can show this one. Finally, they posted a word salad where I guess technically they made it correct. And now it said, white CNN host shares insult leveled at group of black men for what they said when asked if they considered Kamala Harris black. Like written by like some 17-year-old intern on a Sunday, I guess because they got blowback. I hope they got blowback from how atrocious the initial headline was. You were saying.
I was just saying, I think anyone who knows the Daily Mail knows that their accuracy in headlines is not the best, but it's usually not as defamatory as that because it's usually, you know, it can be a little off. And I wouldn't say, you know, you should rely on them for accuracy, but that was really egregious. Really egregious.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Really just horrible. Yeah. And the way that you know that no one has regard for their sloppy journalistic practices, the way you know that is that not a single person at CNN even raised it with me.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah. Okay, that's telling. That is telling.
Right?
Yep.
White CNN host insults black men. I mean, are you shitting me? How horrible. And I've been waiting a week to tell the radio audience just how disgusting and outrageous that headline was. So there you go.